It's crunch time, Will. It's absolute crunch time for the Detroit Lions. We will be on the clock 3 days from now. All right, it's draft week. There's nothing better than me, in my opinion, to me, than draft week. All right, I know a lot of people are all March Madness fans or playoff baseball, whatever it may be. This is draft week. This is a pivotal draft for the Detroit Lions. Will, real quick, shout out to some of our new members. A couple days since we've done an episode, I can't remember where we left off, so I'll just add all the new ones from the last 2 days: David Smith, Thomas Gould, Steve Lax, D Jenks, and David P. Brand new members to Detroit Den 313. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. Acquired members giveaway when we hit 100. I believe we're at 56 right now, so 56% of the way there. Let's rally and bring that home. We want to do those jersey giveaways, those gift card giveaways, whatever else we can get our hands on. Maybe a signed helmet. If we can figure something out, we'll try to get that. Become a member. Greatly appreciated, not required. Will, set the table. What are we talking today? What are we doing?
Actually, first things first, you led me in, and I've been meaning to say this for like a week now, and I keep forgetting. Like a week and a half ago, I was at the gym, and a guy that I see at the gym, and you guys probably like, man, the gym. Just we'll go to the gym. I hide the belly under the screen.
Lifestyles for women. He's an avid member.
That's right. It's lots of stretching. But anyways, so I'm at the gym, and a guy I see in there frequently came up to me, and he said, "Hey man, love your podcast, yada yada yada. I want to donate to it. How do I do it?" I said, "Hey man, it's pretty much up to you. If you want to donate a jersey and stuff, we do giveaways and stuff. You already know that." You know what he brought me, Steve?
Something big? We got a helmet or something? What's going on?
We have another Brian Branch jersey. So we already got a donation towards the giveaway. So I don't know how we're going to navigate that. Will it be part of the members giveaway? We're going to work through that, but we already got something to the green man. So another one that wants to remain anonymous, but appreciate you. Been meaning to shout you out. I apologize I didn't do it sooner. But to the business, Steve. Today we're gonna set the table for our first mock draft, and we're gonna get a couple of mock drafts in the next few days. Now, we told you we weren't gonna mock draft you to death, and we're staying true to our word. But there's three things that we believe the Detroit Lions are gonna do. They're gonna trade up, they're gonna trade back, or they're gonna sit at pick 28 if it just makes sense. So, Steve, today, I believe what we're gonna do. We're gonna sit at pick 28. We're gonna sit at pick 60. We're gonna sit. No matter what trades get offered, we're going to sit where we're supposed to draft, and we're going to draft some players and see what happens. We're not going to do it individually. We're going to talk through it, and we're going to put our brains together to become one, probably, I'd say 100th of Brad Holmes. So we'll see what happens.
You don't think the two of us could put together a better draft than Brad Holmes will? I don't know. I think that our powers combined, we might be able to come close. But, it's just two guys, and he has a whole war room full of people. So, I don't know. We're really going to have to tap into some of our superpowers. But I believe that the force of Brad Holmes could be conquered in this mock draft, if I'm being honest with you. Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I'm sure we're going to get critiqued very, very aggressively. You ready to kick this thing in here?
Let's do it.
All right. Let's see what we got. Let's see if technology is still my thing.
No Will's operating on Windows 95, so bear with him, people. He hasn't upgraded in quite a while. All right.
All right. We in here?
We're good. We're all set.
All right. Table set here. No trades, as we said. We're going to kick this draft off. Bam. We're rolling. All right, setting the table. Let's see who went off the board just because I'm curious. Last few, we'll go from the top. All right, we got Cam Moore, Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter. Ooh, Abdul Carter. No, fourth pick overall. Genty's gone. Mason Graham. Hey, Mason Graham, and this one made it to 7, Steve. I told you shot 5, so maybe there's hope you can get it to that 9 position potentially. Campbell's gone. Michael Williams is gone. Your boy Izoroku is gone.
Mike Green's gone. Dang, everyone's gone.
Yep, Kenneth Grant's gone. Man, Josh Simmons is gone. Tyler Booker's gone. Yeah, and this is what I was talking about, man. This could be an interesting situation when we get there. But Steve, here we are, sitting at pick 28. We held tight, and the first place that I see is that second guy on the list is Colston Loveland. Interesting. Then, not too far below that, I see James Pierce. All right. You got Nick Scorton down there. All right. And for me, I think that's pretty much. Oh, Talik Williams,
Yeah, I'm taking mental notes on who's still available. So I'm trying to put together who I think is available. And I already know who I probably want in round 1. So I'm trying to think of who's going to be there in round 2 that I might want.
Yeah, Hairston still down there. Derek Harmon's still down there. Man, what are we thinking? Am I good to scroll back up?
Cam Scatterbo down there. We had a recent visit with him, Detroit Lions, just the other day. That news came out. So someone to keep an eye on later in one of these rounds, possibly. But I don't know if he's a perfect fit, but we'll just mention that real fast. So who are you leaning toward, Will? I already kind of got an idea.
Well, I'm pounding the table for Colston Loveland, but I don't think that that's a real thing. So, and I will tell you the truth. As much as I love Loveland, if him and James Pierce are on the board, man, I got a hard time not running to that podium and going to get JP. Obviously, that's pending. They did a hell of a background check on him, and they're approving of what's went on in his past. How you feeling?
I've had a scenario in my head for a couple days, and we've already kind of talked about it, of getting James Pierce and then getting another guy in round 2 if he's still available. I don't know that he will be, but we'll save that. But if it's my pick, I'm going with James Pierce Jr. in this situation. Love Colston Loveland. I love the scenario that we brought to the table a couple days ago with making our 4 wide or our 10 personnel just absolutely unstoppable, with 4 wide receivers, essentially, with Colston Loveland, Sam Laporta, J-Mo, and St. Brown, and then a 1 running back situation where we just have speed and matchup nightmares. So it's interesting, but depth on defense is what I'm all about, Will. So I'm personally taking James Pierce Jr. in this scenario. What are you going to do?
I think we got a consensus. James Pierce Jr. it is. Let's see what happens.
Nicky Manwari was on the board. I didn't even realize that either, but it doesn't change my pick for me.
Yeah. All right, here we go, man. Pick 60. Scatterboo's up there. Let me see. Hey, listen, Knight Jr., man, is somebody that a lot of people like. I will say I'm in like with him, but I don't love him, man. I especially don't love him for the Detroit Lions. He's a good football player, though.
Kyle Williams.
There's your boy Kyle Williams. You see, he's already just sneaking up those rankings. He's all the way up to 63 from, I don't know, he was ranked, 663 when we first started the draft process. So you got Tate Rutledge up there. Man.
There's my guy right there. Well, like for me, you could stop scrolling. You could have stopped scrolling in round 1. I told you what I want. Yeah, Josiah Stewart, James Pierce Jr. on the field together. One playing edge, the other one playing Sam. That's just an absolute problem for offensive linemen to deal with. That's just too much athleticism. I'm going to try to overwhelm you on that side with Aiden Hutchinson on the other side. Thoughts and prayers. Now, here's where I'm at, Will. I'm set. The rest of this draft, I feel like I can go have a little fun. But did you have a different idea there at pick 60?
I don't, man. I don't. I love Josiah Stewart at pick 60. I wonder if he's going to be there. When I was just kind of doing some digging on a lot of the edges, I mean, there is a lot of edges, man. It really just boils down to what you like and what you're trying to do. The Detroit Lions, I think he fits that Sam linebacker and edge position. So it's kind of like the versatility makes him a better fit for the Detroit Lions than a lot of teams, I believe. But it's all contingent on what you like and what you're after, man, because like you said, it's Princely, JT. I mean, the list goes on, man. Ivy, there's all types of edges. Well, Landon Jackson, so it's a matter of what you like and what you're looking to get.
Yeah, I just think that defense absolutely unstoppable. Now, I think I fixed my 2 personal biggest needs for this Detroit Lions team, and that's edge rushers, defense, a little athleticism. I think we've gotten both with those first 2 picks. So here, I think we could sit back. We could have a little kind of fun. What do you think if this is our draft so far, what do you think we should be looking at pick 102?
At pick 102 right now, I'm looking for an interior lineman. I'm looking at that safety position to try to get a little bit more depth. Always looking for more weapons for Jared Goff. That's just without question. So, I mean, those are kind of the main areas that I'm looking at. I'd like to grab a linebacker in this draft, but when you get Josiah Stewart, you kind of get a linebacker and an edge at the same time. So, I don't know. And then the athleticism of James Pierce Jr., I'm not going to tell you that he couldn't play some Sam linebacker if we need him to. So, with that versatility from them 2, man, I think we've kind of covered that.
So, is there a way on here to look at players by position, or is it just? Oh, okay, I see it there. All right.
What do you want to see?
Hey, you said you wanted to look at interior line, so let's take a peek.
All right, let's see what we got. Hey, you know I like Dylan Fairchild. You
I like
know,
Miles Frazier too. Willie Lampkin down there. Oh, Willie, man, he's been reliable for us in our first couple drafts.
yep, 1000%. Drew Kendall doesn't get enough talked about enough, man. Football family, I like him too, but he wouldn't be a guy that I'd be looking at right now. He'd be on the back half of the draft. What do you think? Is there anybody you're looking at me to pull the trigger on? You want me to look at something else?
My thoughts are I saw Kyle Williams was available there. I don't know how realistic that is. Wide receiver from Washington State, very high on my list. I think that this is the time to either get Goff a weapon or some protection. What are we going to be looking at when it comes to Jared Goff? Is his protection should be set unless we're talking about an injury. So if everyone stays healthy, and I know that that's a fantasy land, that's probably not going to be very realistic. But at the very minimum, I think Kyle Williams could very, very easily get on the field very early and make an impact. So that's probably my pick. But if you want to go offensive lineman, I can completely understand because, like I said, this is where I think we could have a little fun and start getting a toy or two for Jared Goff or some protection. Yeah, I know you like Jonas Anchor, but here's a question: is he going to be there at the next pick?
Yeah, that is true. I tell you what, and getting into these offensive weapons, I'll say this, and this is kind of why, for me, I would probably lean here. If the board was looking like this, I would imagine that Kyle Williams isn't going to be here, but I do believe that these two guys, Isaac Tesla and Mr. Horton, I think they could easily, both of them could be here at this point in the draft. And those are two guys that I would be taking a strong look at as well. So if I'm thinking, man, if I want to pull the trigger right here, will one of those receivers still be available? I don't know, 28 picks from now. I think there's a potential that they might. And then there's a few other receivers that I also like that are big bodies. And it's not a position that we really have to replace, where I think that offensive line position is a little bit more pressing.
Let me ask you a question real quick. If you go back down, I saw Gunnar Helm, the tight end out of Texas, is still there. Yep. Hey, I don't think he's that big of a drop off from Colston Loveland. So if we're talking value at 102, right there, up a little bit, one or two people right there. Gunnar Helm, tight end out of Texas, I see. I don't think that he's a huge drop off from Colston Loveland, who you were thinking about in round one. So Gunnar Helm, Kyle Williams. I think either pick would make sense. Jonas Anchor, like we've got a pool. That's what Brad Holmes has been talking about, right? Here's our pool for round two. For me, it'd be Gunnar Helm, Jonas Anchor, who maybe I think could last one more round, 28 more picks. I would like that. Tesla from Arkansas, I think is a solid pick, 6'4", 240 pound, or I can't remember his weight, but ran a 4.4. Like we got a good group of players here at pick 102. So I'm pulling the trigger on Kyle Williams. Well, I don't know what you want to do, but just wanted to point that out so you see your thoughts.
Steve. Are you nuts?
What? What?
Did you just say Gunnar Helm is not that much of a drop off from Colston?
Gunnar Helm is a hell of a tight end.
He is still hold on. He's still running his 40. Let me see.
Listen.
Has he finished his 40? No,
listen. Don't get enamored by the 40-yard dash, right? He can play football.
Still running it.
Yeah, he might be. He might be running it, but I'll tell you right now, once he catches it, ain't nobody gonna bring him down by themselves. So
he's got sure hands. He does have sure hands. I don't know. Colston Loveland's a monster.
Kyle Williams, that'd be my pick. What would you want to do here?
Let's do it. Let's pull the trigger. Kyle Williams. Yeah, I love Kyle Williams. So if he was there, I would be 100% down with it. 100% down with it. But I do like Sanker, and I'm hoping that we scroll down here and he is still here and we can have our cake.
See, Tesla's still there. We still got our one player in our pool. Billy Bowman.
There goes your boy.
Ty Robinson, absolute monster.
There goes your boy.
Miles Frazier.
He got pulled off the board.
Yeah. Jalen Reed
there, who I also like, and the Lions did meet with.
Fairchild.
Yeah, Fairchild is there. I like Fairchild. Barrett Carter's another one. I really like him. Yeah, what we thinking? Let me see. Let's go back up here. I'm gonna tell you right here, I'd really like to have either Reed or Fairchild, and I'm leaning towards Fairchild. I don't know, man. Ty Robinson is interesting, but
see, Tesla would be very interesting right here for me if we hadn't just taken Kyle Williams. So sure. I'm kind of with you on Fairchild, but or Miles Frazier. I like either one of those guys. Yeah. Take your pick. I'm good with either.
right.
See, if I had known Isaac Tesla was going to be there, this pick, maybe I could have done a little something. But I still really like the Kyle Williams pick for us at 102. That's a steal.
I think I'm gonna grab Reed, man, and add some depth to that safety unit. How you feel about it?
I like it. We talked about him. Big Ten kid, plays physical football, comes up in that box, he'll tackle. We talked about maybe him possibly playing the role of Ife Melifonwu, who couldn't stay healthy, was always in the training room. So get him at least on a football field. I think he'd have some good developmental years, and I think eventually he'd be a nice player.
Steve, can I do something here, man? Because I don't, and let me know how you feel about it. If Ty Robinson was here right now, I'm gonna sprint to the podium and I'm gonna draft him too fast. Like it's, but I just don't think that he's gonna be there. So can I pass by him and just in the assumption that he's been drafted already?
Yeah, because a little insight for people, a little behind the scenes in Detroit Den. When we were loading this up, we were talking about how PFF has the most accurate football ratings. I don't know, because we got Kyle Williams, and I thought the same thing. Like, I don't know that he's going to be there at 102. So yeah, I'm good if we want to pretend that Ty Robinson's not actually on the board.
All right, so let me scroll back to the top of this thing.
I had another guy I'd sprint to the podium with just right there, William.
Miles Frazier?
Yeah, just get Jared Goff some depth help at that offensive line. But, hey, it don't hurt to look around.
I like it. Let's see what we got. Yeah, we haven't grabbed the lineman yet. Actually, I like it. I like it a lot. Let's click through and see what we got. See if it's anything that you love in there. I like that
Malachi Moore.
Yeah. But we just drafted Reed, but I like that more. Another guy, Detroit Lions took a strong look at is Colin Oliver, versatile guy, linebacker, edge, another one. All right, thinking we're gonna do it?
Yeah, I'm good with Miles Frazier.
Let's do it. All right, here we go. Ty Robinson still on the board. I don't know if he's Mr. Irrelevant in this draft or
undrafted free agent. Is that what you're telling me we could do with a guy who's 6'6", 280 and ran like what did he run at the 40-yard dash, like a 4.8 or something? Yeah, and he'll play football at probably 300 pounds. So he's an absolute steal, but I don't think that's a realistic ranking for him. What are we in round 6 and he's still available? Yeah, not a chance.
Wild. Round 7, pick 12.
I mean, here, what are we really looking for? I mean, I think we've got 4 or 5 guys that can make an immediate impact, and then Miles Frazier, solid backup if something were to happen. I'm already liking this draft, so if we want to take a flyer on someone or a project player at this point, I'd be more than fine with it.
I tell you what, I really like the Colin Oliver kid, and I also like, obviously, I like Malachi Moore, and that safety room is very light. And Moore is a guy who's fought some injuries. I don't know that he's really trying to tackle anybody for sure. Like, I think he immediately gets on special teams and he gets an opportunity to try to see if he can figure it out or not, because he's got a lot of skills and potential. He's a ball hawk, he's got ball skills, but the physicality and the injuries, the durability is something that worries me. So for me, it would be, as I'm going through this list, I'll be looking at Malachi Moore and Colin Oliver. Where you at?
There was a name I saw. I can't remember. I'll tell you keep going.
Craig Woodson. Another one. Back to the top.
I think it was the safety from Georgia. I think his name's Dan Moore. I could have swore I saw him on here. If not, maybe I was mistaken. He might have been down. He might have been all Dan Jackson. That's it. Right there. Not a very athletic safety, but he was kind of Georgia's fan favorite. Everyone, I think he's a 5th-year senior, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have the notes on him off the top of my head. Safety, is he going to be a starter? No, at the very least. I think special teamer. He made some big plays. I think it was in the SEC championship game. I think at pick 7 or round 7, he'd be a steal. But if there's something better out there, there's obviously some names I'm not 100% familiar with, but I don't know. Well, I don't know why we haven't drafted Ty Robinson in round 7. If I'm being honest with you, just not sure.
All right. Well, let's.
Would it be crazy to take Colin Oliver and call him a project in round 7, and that'd be a home run?
I like it.
That's a high ceiling guy.
That's what I was just gonna say. So you want Colin Oliver, or you want to go with Dan Jackson from Georgia?
I'm all about my edge rushers, Will. I'd probably say Colin Oliver.
All right. Little linebacker upside too. All right. Here we go. Last pick, 244. We are looking at Munden, I think, ran like a 4.5. He's a pretty athletic linebacker. He looks like he's chiseled out of granite. I just don't love his game, man, when I watch the film. But I mean, in round 7, probably still.
I mean, yeah, Dan Jackson's still there. That's I could say the same thing in round 7 as I could in round 6.
I like Kendall too for where we're at.
Graham Mertz, quarterback from Florida, Wisconsin legend. They're still talking about him in Madison, Wisconsin. Will not good things, but they are still talking about him.
I tell you what, this kid right here, Walker out of Indiana, he's a stud.
True linebacker, kind of something where I was just thinking, maybe that is at a position we're kicking down the road, because I know we have Pearson Stewart, but if we wanted a true linebacker, that'd probably be a solid pick.
I really like him. The only thing that would shy me away a little bit is Pierce and Josiah Stewart, because I just feel like they're guys that are going to get moved all around that defense. They're so athletic that, but for a guy who would come in immediately and play special teams, he's a guy that he played that Sam linebacker position from Aaron Glenn for Indiana. Like, it's very similar how Indiana utilized him. Obviously, he's not at the level of what we would need to be able to make an impact immediately. He would be a guy that would be down the road, hopefully could turn a corner and make an impact in a few seasons. But I really like his game. It's pretty much all I see, unless we're going to click through some pages.
Nah.
Let me see. One more go around to the top. So I really say him or Dan Jackson from what I'm seeing here. What you think?
I would like Dan Jackson more if we hadn't drafted Jalen Reed, but like you said, safety room, not that deep. Dan Jackson, for sure, special team impact player. I mean, around 7, we're probably not putting a gold jacket on anyone. Crazier things have happened in the world, but this is just kind of like, you're kind of hoping for a miracle at this point. Like, it's very, very hard. So I would be good with Walker. I'm good with Jackson. I'm pretty much good in round 7 with just about anything of the way we've drafted today. Well, I don't know why Brad's not calling me as we speak. Let me check my phone. Still nothing, not even a voicemail. I don't know.
Because you're on Do Not Disturb right now. I can't get through. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, we got an A, B minus.
Not an F for Jalen.
Wow. What did Jalen Reed do to these guys?
Absolute failure. Absolute failure, Jalen Reed. Wow. I don't know.
All right. Hey,
and we still got an A minus out of that.
A minus with an F on the board. What are we doing?
I don't know. Man. That's like taking your report card to dad, and the only thing he sees is that F, and you're like, "But dad, overall, I got an A minus. It don't matter." I don't understand that, but it's crazy.
All right, let's see.
So, well, you're telling me
Josiah Stewart, James Pierce Jr., Kyle Williams, Jalen Reed, Miles Frazier, Colin Oliver, and then Jalen Walker, man. So we got a linebacker, we got 3 edges, we got a safety, and we got an interior lineman.
I'll be self-critical of our draft and say that I feel like we should have gotten a defensive tackle somewhere in there. But with the way that board fell, I'm still very, very happy. I understand that Roy Lopez now probably has a lot of pressure on him if that's the draft until Lee McNeil comes back. That's probably my only knock. I won't give that draft an A minus. I'd say that that's probably a solid B plus, just because I think we maybe should have looked at a defensive tackle somewhere in there. But other than that, like I've been talking about James Pierce and Josiah Stewart doubling down and getting both those guys somehow. I don't know that Josiah Stewart will be there at 60. I don't know about PFF's rankings because they also had Kyle Williams, and I think Ty Robinson is an undrafted free agent somehow. So I don't know. But if this is the draft we walk away with, Will, I'll be over the moon happy.
Yeah, and honestly, when I think about that defensive tackle position, I'm not in as much of a panic as I think some people might be, because you're talking about Roy Lopez, you're talking about Levi Onwuzurike, you're talking about DJ Reader. We're still talking about Lee McNeil coming back. We still got Mekhi Wingo. We're talking about Josh Paschal playing defensive tackle and being a little bit more comfortable there than he has at edge. I mean, that's a lot of defensive tackles that I just named, and I still haven't even named the probably the best one out of the group, Broderick Martin. So I mean, like, what are we talking about? what are we talking about here? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So listen, I do feel like, in all seriousness, no, there's more defensive tackles than we give ourselves credit for, and I don't think that, obviously, Roy Lopez has proven that he can get on the field and take some meaningful reps. We know Levi Onwuzurike can. We know what Aleem McNeil is when he comes back, and then DJ Reader, same thing. So I'm not as worried about the defensive tackle position. I do agree with you. We probably should have picked one up at some point in the draft, but after we didn't get one in the second round, it was like, man, we got Kyle Williams in the third. Now what are we doing? Even if we draft one just to draft one, it doesn't mean that he's going to hit the field, and that's the bottom line. So now, are we looking at getting one in free agency? Are we looking at making a trade to get one in here? Like, what are we looking at? But I wouldn't be too pressed about it. If we don't get one in round 1, 2, or 3, I wouldn't be forcing the trigger to get one in, because if you're telling me I either bring in a Jag, just a guy, right, or I keep Kyle Williams on my team, I'm gonna go ahead and keep Kyle Williams on my team. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then after that, it's all of the same. If you're telling me Miles Frazier, or I just get some dude who plays defensive tackle, let's get Miles Frazier in here. So that's kind of the bottom line for me, man. It's all going to depend on how the players fall and what happened. We don't target one of these guys in round 1 or 2. I think 3 is the absolute cutoff. But after, really, to me, what is it, Shamar Turner?
Yeah, it's kind of slim pickings.
It's not the same. It's not the same. TJ Sanders, Shamar Turner, Darius Alexander. You get past those guys, and I don't believe you're getting an impact player immediately. You're getting a project, and you know how projects go. They can either be boom or bust. And we got one on our team that's been bust so far. I'm still hoping and praying that he does a turnaround this season, but there hasn't been a lot of life shown so far. So we'll see.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. I think my feet have been on Ford Field more than Broderick Martin. When we went up there to get our family pictures last fall, we got to actually go on Ford Field, and I was on there longer than Broderick Martin was. So I don't know why they didn't sign me to a contract and call me a project player, because my feet were actually at the 50-yard line. I don't know where Broderick's were, but I just look at this draft. I think James Pierce Jr., not a starter, but he's going to play. Same with Josiah Stewart. Probably not a starter. He's going to play. He'll have a niche. Both of those guys will have their own little niches. Kyle Williams, he'll be in some packages on offense. Jalen Reed, I won't call him a starter. Special teamer at worst, at absolute worst. Depth piece if someone were to get hurt. Miles Frazier, same thing. Probably that second offensive guard if one of our starters goes down. Colin Oliver, hey, I like that project. In round 6, you're telling me that maybe in two years from now, he's I almost said the word premier. A solid pass rusher, potentially. I'm more than okay with that. Jalen Walker, round 7, like, I don't know. I don't understand that the F pick for Jalen Reed. I don't understand. Like, I don't know what they have him ranked. We don't look at his PFF rankings, but you just watch the film. I think he's a hell of a football player. So great depth, great starters, solid role players all throughout this draft. Well, what would you grade it? I said a solid B plus. What would you say?
Honestly, man, I like a B plus. I do like the B plus. The only reason why I say I like the B plus is because I think there's a little bit of risk to how we started the draft. Regardless of how much vetting they did, there's a little bit of risk to James Pierce Jr., right? So I can't give that a home run now. He can get on the field and act up and make it a home run. Well, not the back end of that thing, and then we got a little bit of a risk with Josiah Stewart, undersized, right? And then, he doesn't have the measurables, but he's got the tape. So is he going to get into the NFL and get overwhelmed? We don't know. So there's a little bit of risk to that. So I'll give it a B plus because of those things, but it could be one of those drafts to where everybody is talking about how we reached and we didn't take guys that had the measurables or the 40s, and Josiah Stewart didn't work out, and James Pierce was mean to his third grade teacher, and that what are we doing? And then when these guys are going to all pro, or they're all pros, then people are like, man, this draft was an A++. Same thing with Brad. So or it could be the opposite. We could be saying it's a B+, and then James Pierce Jr. doesn't practice ever. Josiah Stewart just gets bodied every day, and then they say, man, well, these idiots drafted this group, man, what the heck is wrong with them? So you know what I mean? Yeah,
now people are commenting, hey, that's why Brad Holmes ain't calling.
Yeah. So it's one of those things, man. That's literally how it goes, man. Until the games are played, you never know.
Yeah. Anything else for tonight?
No, I'm excited, man. So like we said, it'll be trade up and it'll be trade back, and then it'll be time for the
Showtime.
real.
Yeah, Thursday showtime. Yeah, we're still trying to work out the logistics on if we'll be able to do a live stream. We'll figure that out. We probably won't even know until day of. So be prepared. Or it's a chance it happens. There's a chance it doesn't. We'll have to wait and see. Try to do our mock draft a little bit differently today, where you guys can see our board. You can see what we're thinking. You can see who we're passing on, who we prefer over who. Maybe a little bit more of a look into our player pool. Stick around, hit that like button. We'll be back later with another show.
Peace.